Good morning. Oh, we got some nice sunshine this morning. So it's rainbow time in my house. I wanted to show you something. You know, I love object lessons or analogies. It's something I enjoy because I don't know, when somebody gives you an analogy, it really gives you something to think about, more than just telling you something straight out. So I wanted to show you something here. I'm going to turn this around, okay, so I can show you. So here's this candle that I like. Trying to get it lit. Nothing yet. Not yet. Now this is going to be, oh, come on, candle. Ah, there we go. All right, now, let me turn this back around. This is important to what I want to tell you about, okay? I'm going to sit down in my chair so you don't have to look at that fan spinning around in back of me. Okay. That candle is a good example of the principle that when something catches on fire, a lot of things don't catch on fire until they get hot enough. There are some things that'll burst into flame immediately. But most things in life, they've got to be heated up before they will actually catch on fire, okay? And my lighting that candle is a good example of that. Oh, good morning, Robin, Stacy, and anyone else who's on. I can't see all the names, but if you're here, say something so I know you're here. All right. So in order to ignite a fire, you have to reach a temperature of combustion, a temperature that's high enough that instead of something being warm, warmer, warmest, hot, hotter, hottest, it'll burst into flame. Okay, so here is the analogy I would like to draw between that and some stuff in real life, okay? So right now and anytime, if you want to have your mindset, for example, be positive, then you in order to maintain a positive mentality, you have got to get your brain up to that positive combustion temperature where that positive flame will spring up. Now, if instead of, imagine positive stuff going in, and it's like me holding that little lighter with the flame on the little wick, and it made it hotter and hotter and hotter until the wick finally caught fire. Well, if you want to be positive, you have got to keep feeding yourself with positive stuff, positive images, positive things that you hear, positive people, okay? Even positive things that you do, physically too, okay? And then your brain is going to tend to go in positive directions, if you will, a positive flame will happen. But if you're, for example, listening to all of the bad news and the panic news, and I hate to say it, but there's even fake news out there. There are well-meaning people who are spreading information that sounds so plausible, so real, so believable, but it's not true. And some of them are people that you know and love and trust. Well, here's the thing, and this is true anytime. Oh, hey, Katrina. Not just now, really, but anytime. For now, though, if you want information about the pandemic, look at cdc.gov, that's the Centers for Disease Control, or look at Johns Hopkins University website. Oh, hey, Carrie. And stick with, like, those two places are reliable. I'll tell you a funny story. Before the schools and everything closed here, I'm in South Georgia, somebody sent me an email, and there were a whole bunch of educators listed on it, that had also been sent the email and who had sent the original email. And I'm one of these people I'm a reader. Oh, hey, Stephanie. Like, I read everything. I even read, the email list of names. So I'm reading, there's a whole list of names, and then there's where the first email came from before it was forwarded. And there's a message there. Oh, hey, Lisa. And this is something that all those people who forwarded it on did not do, but I did. Okay, and if you know me, you know this is typical of me, okay? So this little message there, just a couple of lines, says something like, so-and-so's second cousin Bucky says that this news is going to come out, so I wanted to let you know in advance. I read that and I'm thinking, all right, if somebody wants to present something as believable, as authoritative, gee whiz, somebody's second cousin Bucky sent this? Anyway, so then I continued reading down more and more names of educators, like with their email addresses, blah, 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 .edu. And then there's this whole story about, basically it was false news. It was the one about how if you, something like drink warm water or something, that'll, every 15 minutes, that'll wash the virus out of your system. I don't know. It had other crazy stuff in it too. And also having a background in science, I'm thinking, what are you, this sounds wonderful. Oh, it was the one also that said, if you can hold your breath for 15 seconds, then you're okay, or something. I don't know. It was so crazy. But, when we're sort of in a little bit of maybe a panic state or, sort of heading in that direction, and we sort of grasp at straws, And actually, I held my breath. Everything was okay. And I thought, I'm going to look this up on Snopes.com. That's Snopes.com, because that's a website that deals in a lot of these internet things and, confirming them or saying what part of it is true or saying it's false. Well, there it was, right at the top of the list. And apparently that same email had been sent around in past years for other things too. They just, sort of updated it a little, whoever sent this one, whichever false news provider sent this one, updated it for coronavirus. So I went ahead and I sent that to the person who sent it to me. And it was interesting because, oh golly, you know how husbands and wives are. It was a husband that sent it to me. And I heard his wife in the background saying to him, you need to email all those people you sent this to and let them know. But the point is that there's a lot of false news going on out there. You don't want to feed yourself with that kind of stuff. It's a funny story, but do you know what? I found myself thinking back to some of the things I read in that email and remembering some of them better than I've remembered some of the factual stuff that I've read on the two websites that I just gave you, cdc.gov and Johns Hopkins University. And that's something about false news and about bad news. Those things tend to stick with us. I don't know what it is. Maybe, that's the draw with people liking to watch, CIS and all these you know, murder, gory shows. I happen to like murder mysteries, but I like the kind where they're called cozy mysteries, where somebody dies, but nobody gets hurt. Basically, you know, they're usually a little bit humorous and you don't see any blood or gore. And the focus, rather than being on what happened to the person, you know, I mean, physically to make them dead, the focus is on all the characters, and it's just much lighter, you know, but it's still a mystery. I guess we like mysteries, don't we? Well, anyway, back to my original point. So let's look and see. Is this candle still going? Where is it? Ah, there it is. It is still going. So listen, today, if you're in a situation, let's see, can I get the candle in the background? I don't know how to, oh, there it is. Okay, if you're in a situation where there's negative stuff coming at you, turn a different direction. You don't need to see, you don't need to hear. You know what you're supposed to do during this time, okay? And remember, it may not be just one or two cheerful or positive things. It may take several, just like it took me a little while to light that candle. It may take several things and a little while before your mood gets up and you're doing better. I listened, this is the last thing, I listened this morning to a little Zoom interview that Mike Rowe, the guy from that Dirty Jobs show, did with his 80-year-old mother, who's apparently written a couple of books. And you know what? It was slow moving. It was engaging, though. And it was a little humorous. It was relaxing. After I got done listening to it, it was like my mind was totally engaged with what these two positive people, and he also brought his 87-year-old father on too, what they all were talking about. Oh, and I just really felt uplifted after it. I, by the way, put that on my Facebook page with a link to it. What is today? Today is, golly, I don't even know what today is. Is it Tuesday the 24th? It's the 24th of March, 2020. Okay, so if you want to go look for it on my Facebook page. Anyhow, so remember, flames do not ignite until the thing that's burning, you know, or that you want to burn reaches an ignition point, a combustion temperature. You've got to keep feeding something with heat, and it has to be enough heat until it finally bursts into flame, okay? And you will not feel happy or at peace or positive if you're not really feeding yourself with a lot of positive stuff. In my house, one of the things that I love is all the rainbows in the morning when the sun shines. Feed yourself with some rainbows today. Stay positive.